Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to. That sounded pressurized. Welcome back to Total War Warhammer here in Amabel Goes to Forex School. The first time that we have been the first time we've recorded anything in like 2 weeks. It feels a little
Yeah,
weird.
it feels a little weird. I was trying to bring enthusiasm without being
Yeah,
so enthusiastic that my microphone
would
rendered
would
it
would would
illegible,
bottle it up on your side.
which is why it felt
Yeah, you
pressurized, I
gotta.
guess.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what's going on with Discord because Discord is getting all of the way. So, the situation right now.
Yeah.
We are at war with these lizard men, not because we have any particular animus against them, but because we must own Hexoatl. It is simply the case. So we've broken their primary army. We've driven them into retreat. They're headed back to the Maku Peaks, and we're going to have to give chase, I think. In the
All right.
meantime, we have finally begun to develop buildings that will let us recruit some more interesting units, and I'm a big fan of that, and I think we got to pursue that as best we can. For the moment, Shunma, our gate master, has leveled up, so let's grab something. We've gotten access now to Shunma's fancy super upgrade line. Let's see what we got on here. Be the gate itself, through which none shall pass if you will it so. Okay, so when not moving for a few seconds, he gains a significant amount of armor and missile block chance. That is fine. Yeah, it only affects himself. That seems fine, I guess.
What
But
does that open up?
it opens up a choice here. We'll have to pick one of these three things. You see, it locks the other two. One of them gives you an upkeep and stat bonus for Jade Warrior type units. One gives you big bonuses when in a settlement that's under siege, or in this gives areas under siege, your stuff that's under siege, a big bonus when Shunma's in the same region at least. Or this bonus, which gives him additional function as a map agent. So none of this stuff's like incredible. I will take this one, but none of it's great. But then at the end of the line, once we've made that choice, we get an augment for all allies in range that gives plus 24 melee defense and immunity to flanking, which is pretty neat. Take none of
That's
the
pretty
flanking
neat. Yeah.
penalties. That's pretty good. So yeah, we'll grab that. In a lot of ways, it feels like this is just a thing that costs 3 points to get, and I think it's probably worth it at 3 points.
Yeah.
So we're mostly healed up. The units that aren't healed up are not hugely important. Like I hate to be this way, but if we lose some peasant long spearmen, it's kind of like whatever. So yeah, I'm into pursuit. Unfortunately, they are running full speed. We can move to right here.
Brave warriors of Cathay.
Let's stay within our territory. Move like 98% of our movement range and still get replenishment. So I think that's the play there.
Ensuring the empire as well.
They do have another full army over here. There is an ogre army nearby, but we know these if I remember correctly, this ogre kingdom had absolutely no interest in joining our struggle, and we have no idea what kind of troops those are. All right.
The emperor wills it.
We also have Lei Tang. Lei Tang, I suppose, could be given a moment to rest, or even the ability to like head back and try to quick recruit some of these like cannons and stuff to ferry up to the front lines.
Okay.
Or we could just push. We could just push on the strength of raw numbers, because there's something to be said for the strength of raw numbers. I think I'm inclined to send him back and have him
Astromancer of Grand Cathay.
recruit some
Servant of the dragons.
stuff from the Isle of the Crimson Skull and ferry it forward. Want this to be his wizard.
The heavens will provide.
All right, so now we got some magic in this army, and then
I must keep our forces in balance.
remember that we get some kind of bonuses on lions, right? Yuan Bo gives. He's more effective with lions, if I'm not mistaken. Is it just an upkeep reduction? Yeah, it looks like it's just an upkeep reduction, but it's a pretty significant amount.
Yeah. And not just lions. You got crowmen.
Yeah. It's Crowman Alliance. There's 4 different kinds of lion units, and he gets the bonus to all of them. That said, they're awfully good, it seems like.
Yeah.
And then there are, of course, cannons. And I do love, I love a cannon. I love to use a siege weapon. Especially against the lizard men who don't really have a ton of great siege gear. It's very hard for me to resist just throwing a bunch of cannons together. Let's do this. Let's throw 3 cannons in. This is going to be a tremendous amount of additional upkeep. We're going to really be draining our coffers quickly at this point. And then on top of that, I would love to bring forth a lion or 2. This is going to have us sitting here and recruiting for 2 turns. So we have a jade lion, right? We know how these ones work. Interesting to note, these are yang, but these ones are yin.
Okay.
What is the debuff there? Minus 10% physical resistance and silenced. That's really interesting. Yeah, yin units are the ones that usually are... Yin is the one that's usually on ranged units. So it's kind of interesting that this guy who definitely wants to be in with the melee fighters is going to be giving them harmony. Which is pretty handy. And then we have the celestial lion, which is a flying lion. It doesn't have quite the abilities of the other ones, but it does have 25 extra points of charge bonus. Honestly, the jet lion seems kind of terrifying. So what I'm wondering here is, do we want to recruit 3 lions? Do I want to pull 3 units of melee here and just ferry forward as many lions as possible? Once we transfer some of the lions over to the other army, their upkeep cost will be lowered, and so we'll be a little bit less miserable. That might be the thing. We're gonna find ourselves in a little bit of a situation here financially for a bit. 6. Let's maybe fire some archers too. And I'm just gonna get 3 jet lions, I think. I do like the crowmen are very good. He has 2 units of crowmen already. The question is, does this army want crowmen, I suppose? I'm going to stick with the lion plan. We'll just grab... Okay, so 2 turns of recruiting. It's going to be expensive. We're going to need to get some money.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we have ways of doing that. First of all, we have another army over here that is capable of combat, although I forgot how janked up this army was.
Dragon-blooded Shogunga.
Geez, yeah. She's in rough shape, and I don't want to be spending money recruiting even more troops right now. Let's just grab the other spell that we don't have. We're on our way to Arcane Conduit, of course, as always. More wins is more magic is more good. And then I would love to claim the rest of their stuff, and I'd really love it if Loki or Felhard didn't get it all. So... Unfortunately, that's 10 units behind a garrison, behind a proper wall. I kind of don't feel like we can make a move. All of my melee died, huh? All right. Peasants are cheap. Ish.
Why they all died?
We We can pull peasants through the global pool as well. Where are we at in terms of our Ivory Road here? Oh, we're quite far from delivery. Amabel, I worry. I worry about money.
Yeah.
I worry about money a great deal.
Master of Feng Shui. Celestial ancestor.
But I do want this army to be capable of crushing. Like,
Yeah.
we want to just roll through the rest of their stuff.
I will
All
not
right.
tolerate sloth.
I am pulling in the rest of the peasants. We're gonna have to make a chunk of money next turn. We're gonna have to not spend any money right now. That's for damn sure. So we've gotten control of the Dongchang Basin, and we are not going to be able to probably turn up our. Yeah, you know what? 5% income from trade tariffs. It's gonna have to do. What are we making from trade right now? 778. Okay. So 5% of that is not going to solve our problems. But we're trying. We're trying.
It's a little bit, it helps.
In theory.
I mean, it's like 30, between 35 and 40 income coming in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's gonna be scary. We're gonna be a little bit reliant on Yuan Bo's army making off with money from defeating lizard men right now.
yeah.
Please tell me you can't get all the way to the Maku Peaks. He's trying. He's gonna make the run. Come on, stop short, stop short. You fucking asshole. Alright, well, that's a battle that we needed to win, financially speaking. That's so much distance. That's so much distance to cover.
You can't go up the other. Can you go up the other way around to get to the city?
Yeah, but we need to make money now, not 10
Yeah,
turns from now.
Okay.
If you know, then what are you doing? Amabel?
I have
Suggest a plan that makes up for my strategic shortcomings.
I think. I mean, first of all, you probably can take the guy who just moved into the city because you were so scared of Big Lizard Modoc Man, and you just absolutely wiped the floor with him.
That guy's inside a settlement with 10 units of additional garrison.
Oh, and you have siege cannons.
No, I don't.
Okay.
And even if I did, that wouldn't be enough.
Well, I don't know.
What are you talking about? No, I absolutely do not.
Ask this guy for money.
Who of the Celestial Loyalists? Who the fuck even are you? A faction with no settlements has come to me, strength rank 127, asking for a defensive alliance. I'm not going to take that. That feels like a trap. That feels like somebody trying to use my army as their army.
Look, I'm trying my best, but it's been a couple weeks. So
Right, there was a thing. I forgot about this, but this is a different one. An unusual site has been discovered near one of your settlements, warranting an investigation to determine its potential benefit. As with any unexpected presence on your land, you have the option to remove it, though at a cost. However, if deemed valuable or of interest, this place can be left undisturbed. Assessing its worth is essential in deciding your next course of action. So in Shillong, we have discovered a Grail Knight grave. Here lies one of the virtuous few who quested long for the lady's blessed behest. Gather here and partake of his goodness. So it's giving +2 control and -10 corruption and a garrison of Reliquary and Grail Knights right now. It's doing that now, like I don't have to do anything. Indeed, Grail Knights. Okay. So I could pay 1,000 to burn it. I don't want to burn it. It seems rad.
Yeah, just keep it.
If we can get control up to 75%, 75, there's chances for a character in this region to gain a trait associated with the location. Yeah, I saw one of these across the map, and I keep not saying anything about it because we're caught up in other things. But the Shrine of Sotek also has one of these. It is creating Slaanesh corruption and also giving control and chance for events to trigger related to this location. An exquisite vineyard belonging to the cult of the exquisite cadaver. And I don't know what chance for events to trigger related to this location means, but at the moment, we have enough corruption reduction that 5 Slaanesh corruption is not anything. And so it's just providing +2 control, which is fine. I certainly can't afford to burn it.
General of the Celestial Host.
It would be okay for like an ocean thing, yeah, like one of those, you know, perhaps one of those. Get us a little bit of money. So okay, these guys just marched in. The Maku Peaks does not have 10 units in its garrison. It has 7, and they are they are skinks. They are just skinks.
Yeah, you got this.
He marched in with at least 6 units of Sauruses, a variety of skinks, a skink chief. He himself is a Saurus Old Blood, but he's only level 5. He's got a Bastillodon with a solar engine mounted on its back that's a laser cannon.
Okay.
So it would be 26 of their units to 20 of mine, with them having a significant range advantage. Not to mention, you know, well, this territory is not really built up in a way that provides too much benefit, although it is getting built higher next turn. Yeah, see, like, the 11 units of Umatadon's fleeing army plus the Maku Peaks garrison, I was fine with. I knew we could handle that. This, I don't know that we win this.
Okay.
He's got 20% more people than we do, and they're all better than my people. Well, they're not all. There's a lot of skinks in this battle, and a bunch of them are tired. A lot of how this is going to go down depends on what these things that we haven't scouted yet are. Because if there's just a bunch of skinks in the lineup, then we're probably good. If this is 5 more dinosaur units or 5 more Saurus units or something, then less so. We're not going to go broke this turn, but we're going to go broke really soon.
Master of the
If we try to go through the pass, it's going to take forever. You can see we don't get a lot of movement through the
Okay. Yeah, I see.
the passes. The pass is difficult to navigate, and it's heavily forested. Our momentum is sort of reliant on us being able to hit this. If we can hit this, I bet yeah, it's hard to tell exactly given our multiple forces and everything, but my guess is these are his only 2 armies right now.
Yeah.
So if we break this one, he's in really bad shape. If we make this attack and we lose, unless we get totally run the fuck over, he's probably not in too much of a position to counter push.
Well, I think this has kind of decided your course of action then. I think you should go for it.
You are so bloodthirsty. You are so insanely bloodthirsty.
There has been no battles for over 2 weeks.
On the matters of state front, we're pretty much just saving up to set a commercial district, right? I think that was the plan, because we want to keep.
Now, where's your other army that's doing the recruiting right now? Is that down in?
It's recruiting.
Okay.
We set it to spend 2 turns recruiting, so it's.
I remember that. I was asking where it was.
Don't get lippy with me. Miss, hey, let's spill the blood of the innocent constantly and forever. Tell me you're not a Slanish cultist.
No lizard is innocent.
The dragon's command.
Here's the thing we know we're doing. Let's ride on these fools. The city's empty. Look here, Fellheart attacked the city and sacked it and just left it empty.
Well, I guess it's ours now.
The Empire.
So that's mine. Thanks, buddy. I geared up for I was ready to do a fight. So that means this should be their last settlement then.
Understand why
Yes.
we must fight. But the dragon.
Okay. Once we have cleared their settlements, I am absolutely willing to maybe draw down a little bit on Junshu's army. Maybe just like cut down to like half this size. Because we're not going to be able to do a lot of direct, immediate conquering after this. Like, part of the value of this area is that it's kind of back against the wall. Although I'm now seeing the river widens considerably to the northeast, and there is stuff here that is potentially threatening. We have enemies in common with Lokir Fellheart right now, but that's not going to be true for very much longer. Also, the big downside of there being no battle here is that we didn't make any money.
Of whooshing.
All right, I don't like this.
Cathy.
This is not the kind of battle that I would ordinarily fight. Although, the auto-resolver will just give us a clean victory, which I'm a little surprised by. You know what? I forgot we have Mathlen's Blessing. The whole army having 25% physical resist does change the math quite a lot. Although I will note that in those five mysterious units, he did have 2 units of Blessed Croxigors and a fucking Bastiladon with the Ark of Sotek. Like, those are some very scary units. But I will absolutely take this auto-resolve result because
Yeah.
I do think it's an outperform.
Royal executioner. Eager for battle.
Yeah, Methlan's Blessing's a really big deal, and if I had remembered that we had it, I would have been less cagey there. Okay, achieving victory over the Lizardmen is great. We've unlocked a Regiment of Renown, a fancy Jade War Drum. We have killed so many enemies, and the Eye of the Watcher is upon us.
And your income is positive.
And our income is it got all the way to positive from taking Maku Peaks. Maku Peaks was generating 1,300 gold per turn, which I would certainly not have expected from a tier 1 settlement. That seems, the math is bad there. I'm not sure how that's possible. Alright, Saitang the Watcher of the Stone Legions. Grand Cathay's ancient constructs are a source of its great strength. The life forces imbued within previously inanimate sculptures, now brought to life, play a crucial role in the Dragon Army's martial prowess. Every last molecule in such entities is magically connected, both inside and out. The bond between all lions and sentinels of stone, Jade and Jet inexorable and far-reaching. With more of such combatants in your forces, the most powerful of their kin shall also be roused. Well, the good news is we're already pulling forth 3 more Jet Lions, so we'll just have to get a little bit more beyond that.
Sorcery.
Yeah, Methlan's Blessing is a big deal. Even with that, though, I have to say I'm surprised at how well that battle went. Seems a little silly. Okay. We are trying to get to closest to the heavens. Bonus spell intensity. So, massive upkeep and campaign movement reduction and casualty replenishment rate increase when in own territory. Seems pretty good. Diplomatic relations up with humans and high elves. Control up. Buildings build faster. Spell resistance for the whole army. We're probably going to end up taking all 4 of these. They're all pretty strong. I think for now, let's take the one that helps with the money most directly.
From my scrolls.
We are going to need a second of rest here for for sure. But we want to keep the pressure up too. This army will be ready to start sailing out next turn, and hopefully we can get some good work done. So, Hexoatl. Hexoatl has a garrison that includes a feral stegodon, some Sauruses riding raptors is what these are, these cold ones. And then, yeah, Sauruses and skinks, as well as, proper walls and defensive structures, because it's a capital. It's going to be a tougher take, for sure.
I think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think you're just going to stroll right in and just kick all their asses.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Okay. Well, I think that's ridiculous, but fine. Remember, we're saving population here for leveling up the Isle of the Crimson Skull.
Look, the last 2 times you fought lizards, you're like, oh, I don't know about this. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so terrible. And then you won handily.
Hey, that's not a very nice impression. That's kind of mean.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be mean. I was trying to amuse you.
No, you're right, and I am overly cautious. But I mean, check my battle win-loss record. Like,
yeah, it works well for you.
Yeah, I probably could be more. I think I don't want to say that I play aggressively necessarily. I think strategically I'm aggressive. Tactically less so.
And you're very sound with the tactics, though. I think you're often a little too hesitant to pull the trigger on launching a battle, but once you're in the battle, you're very effective.
Thank you. I'm just trying not to lose troops. I think of battle in a very economic sort of way, and I'm just trying to maintain the things we have. God, there are a lot of dark elves running around here. What is Look Here Fellheart going to do when this faction is no longer around to distract him? There's a lot of Skaven too. This area might actually be much more dangerous than I thought it was. I thought we were securing a sort of like a safe corner.
There are no safe corners in Warhammer world.
It would appear that is exactly correct.
What? Is there a name for the Warhammer world?
I don't know. Probably, right?
Maybe.
But what it is, I do not know.
Ruler of the central provinces.
Okay, the Imperial Wardens of Grand Cathay. This is more of a real faction. And they just want a trade agreement. I would love that. They want a trade agreement and they want to give us money for it. We could have probably wrung like another 30 gold out of them by, counter offering, but it's if they're already offering you 800, like you can kind of just do the math. Like as a percentage, what you gain there is not always significant. Okay, we received a Talisman of Preservation, which is certainly a very powerful magical item. And the Nemesis Crown. It's out there near a mountain range in the Empire. The Celestial Loyalists who are trying to secure a defensive alliance with us have been eliminated. We have completed dynastic finishing, making all of our lords higher level on recruit. And we've received one of our legendary quests, or just this is Gotrek and Felix. Okay, so the Nightmare of Geheimnisnacht Eve, Geheimnistag, or the Floating Holiday, as it is known among citizens of the Empire, marks that rarest of occasions when both the twin moons of Morslieb and Manslieb are risen and bright in the night, thinning the veil that separates the mortal realm from the other planes of existence. It is no coincidence that on one such Geheimnisnacht eve, the hallowed dwarf slayer Gotrek and his mannish companion and chronicler Felix Jaeger detected and defeated a Slaneshi cult, only to find themselves transported to the realm of chaos to face more horrors at the whim of the insidious Prince of Pleasure. His games master, a keeper of secrets, must be found and killed for Slanish's foul game to finally end. So this is, there's a quest battle that can be teleported to, and if we win it, we can unlock these heroes, Gotrek and Felix. This is a reference to some of the Warhammer novels.
Okay.
Gotrek and Felix are the protagonists of some of the more popular stories set in the Warhammer world, and
For the
so
imperial family. Occupy
and so they were made characters here, and I think that's extremely whatever.
Move this vessel forth.
Yeah, I mean, I assume if they were characters that you were like a huge fan of, it'd be less extremely whatever, but still kind of whatever.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so we're into the second onion here of technologies. Upgrades for crossbow units, leading into general melee attack for all young units, which seems fine. Or we can pursue bonus melee attack for Jade Warriors and Celestial Dragon units, leading to bonus melee defense for all of our Yin units, which is a little bit less exciting because you kind of, if your archers are being melee attacked, you've fucked up somewhere.
Yeah.
But this does lead to additional ranged unit buffs. +2 damage for every Iron Hail Gunner is something you got to remember when you're talking about damage bonuses like this. We're talking about +2 damage for every body in the unit, so that's like a 90-man unit, right?
Okay.
So it adds up quickly, especially against large targets where everybody's hitting the same thing. All right, what about this center part? Bonus capacity and recruit rank for astromancers. Peasant triage leading to massive casualty replenishment rate bonuses for your peasants. This will buff speed and armor onto all of our lions. Peasant archers gaining stalk, so they're not visible until you're close to them or they're firing, is kind of interesting. And then big income bonuses. We are well set up to take a bonus to income from ports. So honestly, maybe we just want to head through the sort of the core of this. Astromantic Choir is not so exciting, but Blessed Temple Gardens will be quite good for us. And then the Sea Dragon's Edict, similarly. Yeah.
Welcome additions.
And we'll probably get some of those yin bonuses too. We'll double back on that stuff. So their army moved, but we did not see exactly. I think they just kind of went northwest. They're fleeing, right?
Yeah.
My inclination is to stay put for one more turn, both because we could use one more turn of real friendly settlement replenishment, and also because that means Leitang will catch up, and then we approach Hexoatl as a 2-stack. I think they will have a very hard time dealing with that. And over here, we just need to make sure that we are getting to the Celestial Monastery before any of the other people who want to burn it down. Most of whom do not seem to be in a huge hurry. I think we should be able to hit it from right here. Who all are you at war with?
I do not understand.
Okay. Not at war with the other Cathayan factions, actually. What I'm worried about most, now that I'm seeing the situation a little bit more clearly, obviously Lokir Fellheart, I'm not sure what to make of him. But what I'm worried about most is the large number of Clan Eshin armies we're seeing up here. Like, this is clearly not a ruin. This is clearly... There's going to be a Skaven Undercity there.
Of the Emperor.
And I don't think a force that's relying heavily on peasant archers is necessarily well suited to fighting a bunch of Skaven. I think that's going to be challenging, is maybe the way I would put it. Skaven are very good at taking advantage of unprotected, physically weak units. So we might have to redesign her army a little bit if this does become a protracted Skaven war. The good news is, having focused in on lion upgrades and stuff, I think the lions should perform pretty okay against Skaven. Alright, let's see what else happens here. And at some point, we're doing okay. We're kind of floating a little bit on income right now, but at some point our caravan will cash in.
Yeah.
And we'll be real solid again. I assume Miao Ying is at war with the Skaven. I guess I didn't look. Interesting. So she's gone into ambush mode, as we can no longer see her. She's trying to bait the Skaven forward, I think. Umatanan, now with 14 units in his army, having spent a little time mustering, is returning to Hexoatl. Or not. Came back to Hexoatl and then left in sprint mode. Sort of the worst possible maneuver, I think. So he's just standing out there in the jungle in sprint. I mean, if we can catch him, we'll catch him. That would be an easy victory. Look here, don't do it. Don't you do it. Oh, camera's resettling. I think that was the cameraman moving it off of his shoulder onto the stand. Okay, I mean, if he's gonna just sack it, that's fine. I just need him not to take it. Yeah, I guess he's just rolling around being a pirate. He's got a dragon now. We just saw him level up into his dragon mount, which is kind of scary. Yeah, see, this is my biggest question is this army right here, Chiriflesh. What is this army doing? Because it's kind of caught out away from everything else. And if they tried to just run to where Deathmaster Snitch is, I think they would they'd get cut off. But I don't know what other play they have.
Yeah.
There's some kind of terrible drama playing out to our south here. I don't know how long Marcus Wolfhart is for this world, which is a shame because he's a trading partner.
Welcome before my court.
They would love to pay us $3,000 not to eliminate them from the game. That will not be happening. So, Amabel, you've had a couple of weeks to sort of cogitate on this thing and 4X school as an experiment and whatever. Have you come to any thoughts?
I mean, this is neat. Someone likes their grandma, apparently. This
The Jade Dragon.
Oh, how unfortunate for them. We can in fact reach them.
Well, then we should do that.
Trust in the dragons.
Um,
Sure, they plan.
yeah, I like this game. I like this a lot more than a lot of the pure like 4X that we've seen, probably because it's a bit more narrowly focused,
Keeper of the 8 winds.
and so there's a lot.
Make your
less of that trouble where you try to
Bend.
hammer a bunch of stuff into a form that is systemically coherent.
Mm-hmm.
Natural authority.
And like, I played a little bit of the Pharaoh
Yeah.
game from this series, and it still has some of the
It's
same
mine
kind of
by
like,
blood rights.
not so much historical modeling problems, though it does, but kind of the
You are bold.
there is a sense in which imperialism and colonialism and like political authoritarianism is baked into the genre that I don't feel like I so far have seen anyone really kind of deconstruct. And I'm eager to see something like that.
Come on.
You think
But
you're
yeah,
likely
those
to?
are those are my cogitations.
Okay.
Celestial General.
Do you think you're likely to see somebody?
Probably not, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the situation with Umatadon.
Yeah,
We have one turn left on our Mouthlan's Blessing.
right.
Yuan Bo can just reach him, but he's still within. He's at the very edge of the zone of control of Hexoatl, so he will get Hexoatl's armies as reinforcements. Lei Tang is nowhere near being able to reach him, and that means
Right.
even in March mode, we only get to here. And that means if I try to do a troop transfer, Yuan Bo would find his army tremendously limited as well, because the troops will have spent so much of their movement by
Yeah.
the time they get there. So I think Yuan Bo's going to have to just go it alone
All right.
on this one. We definitely do want to make use of this. Like he is out in the open, pants down. He gets reinforcements, but they have to come out of the battle, so they'll get there late. And we have this one more turn of our huge blessing. However, this does mean we are just fighting straight up 20 to 28, and we're looking at a lot of Sauruses. Not so much with the dinosaurs. They have a Razordon hunting pack, which is scary, and they have a Feral Stegodon, which is kind of like the most bare bones, no frills. It's just a dinosaur unit there is.
Right.
But yeah, like a fair number of Sauruses. Now, if we hit the auto resolve here, it thinks this is a lose all of your infantry and most of your ranged type battle. In this case, I think it's underrepresenting our ability. So I am going
Okay.
to fight this manually.
Yay!
This doesn't really do anything in this battle. It just affects enemy flying units, of which there are none. So we'll not even apply that. And yeah, let's do it. I wish we could have brought the cannons to bear. I think this is a battle where the cannons would be fantastic, but they're just not. One more turn. One more turn and they would have been in position. It happens.
Yeah, but we definitely want to make use of that plus 25%.
The 25% physical
huge-
resistance is a big deal. Okay, so the enemy reinforcements will be entering the battlefield from this side about 2 minutes into the battle, probably. And they include a real dinosaur and probably about 5 units of Sauruses, who we have to regard seriously. But there's also a fair number of skinks and stuff that are they're not nothing, but they're less. Do we have a timer on that? It is 2 minutes. Okay. Also, not a lot of magic in the reserve to start with. Not a lot of magic in the reserve in total. Okay. Tons and tons of trees. Like, I hate to like set up on the side of the reinforcements. What's he got? So he's got 5 units of proper sources, a unit of temple guard, and then sources on raptors. So 1 unit of Saurus cavalry, in addition to the dinosaur. This actually is pretty scary.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think here in terms of where are we going to get the best play out of our guns, and this open field area is the spot. Like, I can try to bait him over to here, but if we don't push now, we're going to be fighting all 28 of them at the same time, right?
Right.
I have to take advantage of the moment, but without putting myself in a position to just get flanked and torn to pieces. How do we do this? How do we take advantage of their disconnection without putting ourselves in position to just get sandwiched by two forces that are each 3/4 the size of our force?
Right. Yeah, this is a problem that military commanders have faced throughout history. And usually the thing is they put a lot into taking out the one army before the other one shows up and then pivot.
Yeah, we only have 2
But how-
minutes.
Yeah, we only have that's the biggest issue here.
Forces that do not move particularly quickly, and only 2
Now,
minutes to work against very high health enemies,
Yeah.
and reinforcements that include cavalry and a dinosaur, which are both much faster on their feet than normal infantry. The good news is, like, we have a ton of spears, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a ton of people who are good at the very least fighting a dinosaur relatively safely. So I don't expect us to get torn apart unless motherfuckers get into the gunners, which is the thing we got to be really careful about. And a bunch of them are in these trees already, and we do not want to be gunfighting in the trees. So my inclination is to pull my force something like this. Let's go.
Okay.
Got our flying units here. The Jade Lion's not so afraid of the trees.
Jade officer.
Our hybrid weapon specialist here, our gate master.
The dragon
And do that. There's not a ton of reason for you to fight on foot in this battle, I think, right? We can go dragon mode pretty quickly.
Okay.
Or dragon mode for a while, because like the with no magic available, you go dragon mode for a while, then switch back to human once the reserve has poured a little bit, and we can get some
Okay.
spells off.
Yeah, that is one thing you have that historical commanders usually don't, which is stick magic and turn into a dragon. So maybe
Yeah,
that will turn the
and
tide of the
it's
battle
worth
for
noting
you.
that this enemy force does not have access to magic at all. These are fully non-magical troops. I don't love this. Now that we're actually here, I'm feeling less sanguine about the whole exercise. But we gotta try to make it work. And that means there's not really a lot of time for fucking around. This is an advance.
Yeah.
We're advancing. So I don't usually like to leave like what I would ordinarily do with a force where I'm trying to like advance on an enemy unit, try to advance on a bunch of enemies with this many guns, is try to like checkerboard it a little bit more so you could have the spears collapsing in front of any particular unit of gunners. I'm not doing that here because I'm trying to have a bunch of people off to the one side to be able to turn around and catch when the reinforcements show up. I don't know if that's really like a good idea. Let me grab all the flyers and put them in one group real quick, just for a little bit of ease of command here. All right, you ride along. Keep buffing them up. You can't turn into a dragon for the first 30 seconds of the battle, but you're going to be doing some running forward anyway. And we want to be just a little bit careful with the Jade Lion. I'm going to hold it in reserve a little bit, because it doesn't really have the best melee defense.
Okay.
They have some javelins. The Razordon dinosaurs have spears, effectively, that they shoot out. They like shoot quills. So we want to get into melee with those as quickly as we can. They don't have great melee stats. But we have to watch out for them shooting us down.
1,000 more of your lifetimes in this struggle, never shirking my responsibility to fight. For you, my people, for all Cathay.
You tell him, Wombo. I mean, fucking rampage. If those are just skinks, fucking rampage them. Don't be bullied by skinks. What if I was a fucking dragon?
I like how often you sing. It is such a delight to me.
So they're just kind of watching. They're just kind of letting this happen. Their other units aren't moving to defend or anything. Okay, so that's the unit of Saurus Spears. We gotta not let those guys get a hold of the lion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and spend our first fire breath here. Let's just try to do some stuff. Alright, we're getting close to the location I told them to move to. And I am going to just, assign them a unit to run up on. So they're keeping their sources in the trees for the most part. They're trying to be clever. Don't like it. We're gonna try to run up and kill Sauruses as fast as possible. That's the goal today. I don't really want to try to use my bombs just yet.
Okay.
Because of the Razordons. I think I'm going to...
Could you what about the Razordons that make you not want to?
Because the thing I was just saying about them, the shooting, the weapon.
Oh, right, because you'd be applying to. Okay, gotcha.
We want their main sources of range damage dead before we spend a lot of time hovering over their melee lines.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to engage in some maneuvers here designed to break their shit apart as we approach. Oh, the Comet of Cassandora I can still cast while I'm in dragon form. That's interesting. I don't know that I want to. The non-overcast version of this is not all that exciting. I also still have access to some of my other stuff, which is interesting. All right, the Source Spears are coming forward, so we need to withdraw the lion, commit the Jade Warriors. This unit in particular we want to hold. Much charging. Get a hold of these Sauruses. I'm actually going to fly the dragon straight through. This is probably going to get my guess is the Razordons will go after him. I'm kind of hoping we can get them committed to aiming one way, and then we can charge them in the back. Like either they aim at the Longmaw Riders and the dragon gets them, or vice versa. We'll see. We'll see if that works out. But sorry, I'm doing a lot of pausing right here at the beginning of the battle. it's an important moment.
Right. No, you got to approach carefully, and I don't have any problem with that. You know,
Yeah, I'm apologizing to the viewers.
I don't think the viewers care about you pausing either. I think they want to
Check
see.
it. It's working. They're totally going for it.
I think they want to see what you're doing and have some explanation of your thinking. Like that's why they watch you do this.
Honestly, even like as they're going after the dragon, my plan had been to pull the other, whichever unit they go for, you know, pull the other one and have it do something, or pull that one and have it do something else while the other one falls on the back. But they got so close to the dragon that I think we can just dive bomb them.
All right. Dragon.
All right, gunfire's opening up. Spears are moving through. Ah, shit. Right, the gunners are in skirmish mode. They're reacting with an unreasonable amount of fear to these skinks.
What degree is reasonable?
I mean, they should probably try not to get engaged directly in melee by the skinks, but like that's why I wield the Jade Lion back here. These skinks are not that scary. Okay, so the Razordons are breaking already. We're getting these skinks. The Croxagores are getting up in my Crowmen, and so I will withdraw them. But we broke those skinks real fast. I need to get you. Do we have Overcast on this? Okay. So that's a little bit more compelling. I'm a little bit more interested in like Overcast, Comet of Cassandora directly onto a whole lot of Sauruses. Let's do... The spears aren't as grouped up as I would like. But this is a unit of warriors and a unit of spears. Yeah, let's do it like here. Good luck, my friends. Be stalwart.
Praise the dragon!
And see, they can just turn around and shoot. And that solves the charge right there. Okay, so broken. We did not see the comet land, but we can see the aftermath.
Yeah, wow.
I'm going to turn one of you around to get a flank on these Saurus warriors. Here's the thing about magic. It's bullshit, cheating bullshit. So we got to keep the Crowmen away from the Saurus spears, which is a little tricky. On this side of the battlefield, they've been pretty smart about like grouping their spears, sort of keeping their spears loosely assembled throughout the battlefield. Notice here, they just have a wizard, like a wizard guy hanging out by himself. Crowmen, handle it. Solve that. Let's get the Longmaw Riders out of there because they're starting to bring the Temple Guard around. You guys have done the work that needed to get done. Somebody's got to kill their lord.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's so low level that he's not on a mount. And that actually makes it harder to shoot him to death. Because he's not a large unit. I'll have one unit of spears stay on these guys. The other unit of spears needs to report up. We'll keep the Jade Lion on them for a moment longer.
And you're just a few seconds from those reinforcements coming in.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to like figure out like we're gonna have a bunch of units breaking, right? I'm trying to figure out who stays in to make sure stuff breaks and like continues running, and who is available to wheel out. That's part of the reason I'm moving all the gunners forward so much too. Like part of it is I want to shoot these An army ability. They just spawned a unit of... Oh, they just spawned a copy of the Skink Priest. They're too... That doesn't matter. That's just dumb magic garbage. These crowmen need to get out of here because the spearmen are going to tear them apart. My thought is that the flying units are probably going to have to refocus. So let's get y'all out of here. I guess actually you guys should probably run this way. Our Lord, on the other hand... How do we want to pursue this? This Peasant Long Spearman took a lot of damage. I guess just charge the skinks that are attacking you. That's probably going to lead to them being sort of led on a wild goose chase. But I don't know that we have a lot of other options. All right, we got to get it together as far as dealing with the incoming cavalry. No, that's the spears. Where is their cavalry unit? Okay, it might not actually be on the table yet. In any case, get over here, like facing that way. Jade Lion coming to play defense for the gunners. What I would love to do with the gunners, if we can manage it before the charge comes along, is to kill these Croxagores, but the Croxagores are being pretty cowardly, actually. Okay, this fight's going the way it's going. Those guys are permanently broken. Y'all can probably just turn around. So they brought their lord in. Yeah, we gotta break down these Temple Guard. What am I gonna do about these Temple Guard? What's it cost to cast? It's 11 to cast the non-overcast version of the Comet. Alright, I think we gotta bail on this plan. I took the time I have available to shoot at the Croxagores, but I think time is up. I'm going to turn the Lion and the rest of our melee troops to holding this force, and we're going to use the couple of guys that we can scavenge from over here, plus the flying units as a sort of a break wall on the enemies coming around for the ranged. Maybe they do have access to some kind of magic. That was definitely some kind of spell they just did. That's very annoying. Well, there's a dinosaur. Make it die. The good news is they don't have a ton of spear sources over here. Yeah, they mostly have cudgels, but the cold ones and the sword. There's one unit of sword spears we have to be very careful with. Jade Lion, focus on those guys. This is where it gets really ugly. This is where it turns out we may have lost the battle. You know, hard to say.
I hope that's not the case, but even so, it's been an interesting battle.
Has it though?
Yeah.
Here we go. Open fire on the dinosaur. It realizes it's too late. The bullets hurt a lot.
Doesn't like that.
Okay, so we're gonna have to specify some targets here. These crowmen are going in on those guys. The Longmaw Riders, we want to use pretty carefully because they're actually pretty good fighters, but they're also fragile and we can't replace them. They're not fragile, but you know, they're good fighters, but we can't replace them. Charge these guys, I guess, and this is time for bombings.
Yeah.
Our Lord is doing okay over here. He's gonna have to... Right now he's fighting Saurus Spears, which is not what he should be doing. But he's also keeping the Saurus Spears occupied, and I have a hard time arguing with that. Yeah, trying to make it to over here. Yeah, if the gunners can knock out the bunch of their Saurus Spears together, actually that would be really huge. I'm wondering if we should reform, because yeah, we're gonna be in there mixed up with. Yeah, let's cut to human mode here.
Okay.
We have more item abilities and stuff in human mode too. All right, we're gonna have to micro the bombings, so let's. Look at that. Look at that.
Pretty good.
All right, we don't get to do that again for another 60 seconds. Okay, they're breaking stuff. Jade Lion's getting messed up a little bit, as was always going to happen. Now that we're here, we can pull the Emperor's Executioner on those Croxicors. Oh no, right, unit Lord or Hero. I know this. We had this problem last time.
You did. Yeah.
I am going to transmute these nerds all to lead. All their weapons will become heavy and difficult to wield. And we could drop some other spells here. But I think mostly what I need to do is I need to just like get in there and start cutting throats. Oh right, I had to actually. Okay. Yeah, and then get in there and hurt some people. Alright, rear charge as they meet the spears. Most of the gunners are still firing. There's a couple of them that are caught up on their that lord over there. But this is having a pretty great effect on enemy morale.
Mm.
They're having a hard time dealing with everybody around them screaming and exploding.
Spy master.
Iron hail gunners!
Hold on, okay. We don't have them in guard mode, so they're kind of chasing the targets I gave them, which is not ideal. Okay, so their guy is just a unit of Saurus Spears. I'm wondering if we should turn some of these gunners around. You know?
Yeah.
We're losing the fights uphill. You know what would be really, really slick right now? Is if we manage to kill their lord. Their leadership is kind of fucked up as it is. So what's the execute threshold is 20%. I might hold that and try to do exactly that thing with it. See if we can get a kill on their lord. In the interim, let's just Jade Shield on our men. Just try to hold up. We're winning this fight and losing that one. That's fine. Loma Riders probably need to disengage from these Saurus Spears, but they did their thing. The Onyx Crowmen broke some of these units. Let's try to use their mobility to keep some of these other ones from recovering.
Thoughts in harmony.
Turn around and open up quickly. Fire. Okay, yeah, the leadership is falling. Oh, he's not quite close enough. It's fine. The bullets are gonna do the thing. So I just pulled the gunners back. I had the gunners sort of delta split from him, and
Master, steel rock.
don't let him get away.
Hail
There we go.
gunners!
Genpo.
So that's a common technique that I like if something gets in the ranged, is you have one of them run one way and another one run like 135 degrees the other direction, and both of them turn around while they're running. So whichever one the guy chases, he's being shot at in the back,
Yeah.
which works sometimes. It's a little bit more coordination than some forces can bear. Okay, yeah, we're bringing some guns up here. At this point, reassigning, like moving around and reassigning the gunners is kind of like the only plan we have. Oh, these guys are just, they have an open flank. We can just shoot right into that.
Cavalry! Armed by our own!
Speaking of open flanks,
For the Moon Dragon!
all right, a lot of retreating, a lot of breaking.
Never conquered! Sinyang's faithful!
Hey, there you go.
For the Emperor!
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out in the end. The losses were not insignificant.
But better than what they were going to give you in the auto resolve.
Oh, certainly, certainly. I think our unit of Regiment of Renown Crowmen did die.
Yeah.
Notice that the normal Onyx Crowmen pulled 250 kills that battle. Yeah, I assigned like those crow. It was like those Crowmen and a unit of Peasant Spears against Temple Guard, against fresh Temple Guard. And I don't know that I think that it was a mistake. Honestly, like they did what they needed to do.
That was very well done, sweetheart.
Thank you. So when a Regiment of Renown unit dies, it isn't permanently gone. You can rehire it like after 10 turns, I think. So we'll get access to Grenade Crowmen again, but it'll be a while. But yeah, in terms of momentum, I think that was really important. It was really important to push there. And now the real question is, do we have the movement necessary to attach to Hexoatl? Because if we can put Hexoatl in siege mode, all the damage that those units just took during that battle, the garrison units, will not heal.
Okay. Yeah.
If we can keep them weak. All right, so we managed to loot 3,100 gold during the fight. We could pardon captives for another 980. This is a fairly significant amount of healing, I guess. I'm inclined to take the money right now.
Okay.
That army's totally annihilated because they were in march mode. We stole the Cloak of Pomei. Okay. Power recharge, extra winds of magic and stuff. We had a mission apparently to defeat that guy. All of our units are psyched. And it looks like maybe just barely, no, we just barely don't have movement. So unfortunately all of their garrison units are going to get a full turn of friendly settlement replenishment here. While our units are going to get no replenishment. We are going to gain spell intensity. Because you know what we need is more damage on that comet. It wasn't doing enough damage before.
Yeah. Would it make sense to bring up the other army? Or...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to bring up the other army. That said, they're so much slower that I'm not sure they're in reinforcement range even up here. It looks like they probably are.
Tactical acumen brings victory.
But like I said, I think that was the all that remains of their army. So I think we have.
Inspire my troops.
I think we've done the thing. That said, I'm going to recommend holding off on celebrating just yet because it is a settlement battles are sometimes weird. Let's not spend a lot of extra. Well, I guess we may as well upgrade this. Oh, this is the thing I was going to just replace, actually. Well, whatever. It's giving us control now. Not going to spend any more population in this place. Control is bad here, but it's only bad because of the conquest penalties. Like once things settle down, we're north of 0. So research rate or income from tariffs, do you think? Or I guess, this is a location where there might reasonably be like war in the nearish future, I suppose. Hard to say.
Yeah. I always like research rate, but okay,
yeah,
tariff.
we'll take research rate. 7% is tricky considering, we're researching like 50-ish% of a thing per turn, so it's I don't know. It's not a big deal. It'll be good. So we're over the hour.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say let's hold on and see if we actually get a hold of Hexoatl here. I think that's
Okay.
a good moment to go out on.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, that battle was messy. Again, like the core problem to solve there is like, how do you cut their forces in half without having half of their forces on each side of you?
Yeah.
And I think I kind of answered it.
I mean, you came out ahead.
Our ranged troops did not end up getting hit real hard by their reinforcements. The only real losses we took in the ranged were from the First Army's Lord just barreling through the lines at full speed. And there's not really a huge amount you can do about that necessarily. Oh, hey, Lord Mazdamundi's respawned.
Well,
What's up, buddy?
that's trouble.
Nah, not really. He doesn't have time to do anything. We're going to be like he can start mustering right now, but he can't. As he could recruit regiments of renown instantly, but anything else takes at least a turn, right? So he'll go into mustering
True.
mode in the settlement, and then we will fall upon it. And I'm not too worried about him being there. In fact, him being there means that we can get the trait. We might be able to get the trait for defeating him onto our secondary army. Because when you do battle with the legendary lord, it's only whoever is in the actually engaging army that gets the defeat trait.
Mm-hmm.
That said, our secondary army may be too far back. Those guys might not be able to reach Hexoatl except in march mode. So our caravans get like little glimpses of things going on, little bits of vision. There's goblins swarming around a Fort Jakova that is still owned by the Kislevites. And that's all kind of interesting, I guess. There's pirates out on the seas, if you can believe it. And we have a caravan encounter. The caravan was being tracked, followed. After moving into a defensive stance and drawing weapons, the potential enemies emerged and turned out to be friends, a group of mercenaries who fought alongside and spilled blood with you in the past. More like friends than mere colleagues, in fact. But I did say friends already. So, what does this army need? 3 units of peasant archers or 2 units of ogre bulls. We have gunners here and a rocket battery, and honestly, I think we could probably just use some some melee combatants. This game in faction has performed the scheme of doom. That's not really relevant to us. Got our astromantic choir again, probably not super relevant to us. You can see he is in fact mustering. It is critical that we close this out this turn, but fortunately, we have plenty of ability.
For Grand Cathay.
Okay, and Leitang can lead the assault.
Battle is nigh.
I like this better both because Leitang has a full army and because this way he'll get the trait. If we take the auto-resolve, a single unit of Yuan bows
Yeah, that seems fine.
spears will die. Yeah, that's acceptable to me.
We are Cathay's true bastion.
We stole their glittering scales. It's armor that lowers the melee attack of enemies nearby. I need to take a second and go through and actually figure out which equipment we should have where on our people. Because Yuan Bo already had this trait, right?
Yeah.
So now we've got it on both of them, which is cool. We have raised or sacked Hexoatl. We have not. Mission aborted. We didn't do that and we won't. Reduce unit upkeep expenditure to below 80. Okay. I guess we did. I don't. Whatever. All right.
Instrument of the divine.
So here's the important thing. We've taken over Hexoatl. Hexoatl has in it a couple of buildings that I think I probably don't actually want. At the very least, I don't want this dormitory. We can have dormitories elsewhere. Has access to a couple of special landmark buildings. The Astromantic Relay, which is what we came here to build. Which will activate this dormant direction of the Wuxing compass, and then we will be off onto our next goal. We'll have to figure out where our next goal is. But they also have here, of course, the stellar pyramids of the southern skies, the great pyramids built into the mountain, which will give us 12 research rate, 10 winds of magic power capacity for all armies, for all battles forever. Bonus recruit rank on our lords. This is it's a cool building, but because it takes so long to build, because it's a tier 5, you don't really need the research rate anymore usually by the time you have the opportunity.
Celestial General.
It's an unfortunate case of getting your toys after you have no need of them.
You would turn down such weaponry.
So we're building that lord up. I assume, I didn't really look, but I assume the plan with that lord was to get him to thunder, to lightning strike, lightning reflexes, whatever it's called, lightning strike. Yeah, because we're not doing that with Yuan Bo because he has too much stuff to do. We're gonna learn some spells with our spellcaster.
For Cathay.
Yuan Bo didn't even gain a level, but his man did. Yeah, I think I'm going to take another point of Deadly Blade. The fact is, we're just not running out of ammo. We're not getting even close to running out of ammo, right?
Yeah.
The battles are not taking that long. So this army now has only 18 units left in it, but that's room for the lions to get passed over. In fact, let's make that trade. So I do think I want to hand over. Do we want to hand over all 3 of the lions? Do we want to hand over the cannons is also an interesting question. What is the actual makeup of this army going to be? I like having the flying units for the flanking. Are we maybe a little overcommitted to guns? Do we want to maybe... With picking up these tough lion units, we could probably afford to drop our least impressive unit of peasant long spears.
Okay.
And that way we can get all 3 of the lions.
Keeper.
All right.
Wuxing.
Now we should just heal up for a couple of turns. Is Fallen Gates the last settlement? It's not. Okay, they own some stuff up there as well. We have to decide what we're gonna do with Mazdamundi. if we don't finish him off now, there is a risk that he will harbor a grudge forever. And, however long it takes him to get back in the game, the moment he has his feet under them, he will use them to attack us.
Right.
So there is some argument to be made that we just like clear him. At the very least, I definitely want to take Fallen Gates because it completes the province here. So that's in his immediate future. We've now gotten access to, or at least we will. Is it north? Nongcheng Basin. Where is? Which direction is it that we're getting access to here? Asher, Broken Lands. Do you remember?
I don't.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, it will tell us once we built the thing.
Yeah. And technology-wise, we are happily moving on this plus armor, plus speed for Lions technology.
Even now,
Seems great.
we learn.
Okay, I was a little worried at the start of the episode. Things have turned out pretty
Yeah.
well. This place does have a gold mine in it, which obviously is going to be fantastic for us. Yeah, we need to grow this province as quickly as possible. All three of these settlements have trade goods, and this is going to be an excellent economic structure. Which is to say, we got our 4 stone in hand. Perhaps this is a good time to make this a commercial district.
Okay.
Oh, except it has to be it has to be level 3. And it's going to be a minute before we have that population. Well, let's make something else a commercial district in the interim.
Okay.
We'll come back. We'll get it later. Shunma is 2 turns off of being a tier 3. Okay, so we'll probably do it there. Shunma is also a place where we have reasonable, exotic goods and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess we can't do this, right? I was planning on getting our stone converting, but we are waiting behind our growth here. And then I have no idea what we're going to do with you. A lot depends on what Look here does now.
I have sacked the temple of Gilgamesh.
Oh.
Slaughtered the tigers of Ind.
Look here's plan was to go to war with the northern provinces. So that's this player.
Okay.
You have 5 settlements? 1, 2. It looks like probably this and probably that. Although those might be the same one. I'm wondering if we should turn on him. Just sort of like, it's not really turning on him. It's not like we're his friends. But I'm like, we're well positioned to backstab him for the favor of Miao Ying. In fact, I wonder if Miao Ying might be willing to facilitate this a little bit.
The City of Smoke is poised to lend you its might.
Okay, yeah, military access. And what if I were to help you out a little bit with a problem that you have? Now, see, a defensive alliance with the northern provinces is certainly a little bit more compelling. People are going to be reluctant to declare war on someone who has a defensive alliance with the strength rank 6 player.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's certainly interesting. Or we could just take out the rest of it in money, which that's not that much money. Yeah. I don't know. Those are interesting options. Stuff to think about, I think. We'll consider this stuff next time. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking over the map
Okay.
to figure out where our other locations are. So we're going to build this astromantic relay in Hexoatl starting next turn.
To get the Dragon River direction.
The Star Tower. Okay, yeah, the Dragon River direction. Some of them just have names that like make sense. Dragon River, no effect. No effect? No effect. When direction is set, characters are immortal. Attrition massively down. That's not such a good one, but it is the one that was closest, and we got to get them all anyway, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take a minute and look around and find the Star Tower and the Southern Sentinels and Great Turtle Isle, so that we have some idea what else we're looking at here. So I think that is probably that's where we can call it there. I think that's gonna be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, like I said, we'll have a little bit more of a view toward the future. I don't know how long we want to take this one exactly, but I'm still having fun with it. So a bit longer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, come back next time for a bit more, and we'll see you then.